All right, what's good, y'all? So I just came back. Well, my wife and I both saw it, but we just came back from seeing. Bo- I almost said Boy Meets World. No, if y'all don't know, that's an old Disney Channel show. Every time I hear see this title, I think of that. But Boy Kills World, whole different kind of movie, whole different kind of plot than Boy Meets World. Trust me. But we just came back from seeing that, and if you didn't know, I did do a reaction to this movie. And I said it looks crazy. There's a lot going on. It looks like a bloodbath. Looks like a good time. Bill Skarsgård does it again with his movie decisions. And so far, I have to say, lately with all the movies that he's been in, I'm a fan of his. I think he's a great actor. He chooses great movies, and this is one of them. This movie was a lot in a great way. It was a fun time, great action. It is a bloodbath, so I will let you know that. To give y'all a warning, the trailer even warned y'all. They said, I forgot the exact words they said, but basically they said it was a bloodbath. It is. If you don't have the stomach for it, don't watch it. But the action is great, great choreography, great camera work. I will admit that it has some shaky cam. So for those who don't like that, it does have a little bit of it, not in a crazy way, but it does have it every now and then. But you can see the action enough. It's not where you're sitting there with a headache, in my opinion. I hate shaky cam, but this one wasn't to where in this movie it wasn't so much to where I was annoyed. I was sitting there like, oh, shaky cam, but it didn't have it in every scene a lot, like they overflowed. It didn't have that. But back to what I was saying, Bill Skarsgård did a great job. If you've seen the trailer, this is not a spoiler. If you've seen the trailer, you know that he's deaf and mute. They do explain a lot when it comes to how he became deaf and mute and all other things that you see in the trailer. They do explain it very well in the movie. Some you don't know to the end because it's a surprise, and some you learn early, some you learn in the middle. They're very good at placing things that you don't know at the right time. So you're like, oh, okay. All right, all right. Because outside of the action, the bloodbath that I was just talking about, the movie in itself, plot wise, was actually really good. Huge surprise at the end. Well, not even at the end. Like, yeah, the third part of the movie, it was like, oh, didn't see that coming at all. And the movie did a very good job at not spoiling anything. Even trailers. The trailers just show the bloodbath, the action. He can't talk. He can't. He's deaf. But there's more into it. There is a certain character, and I was wondering, should I tell you who this character is? But in the trailer, it didn't show the character at all. So there's a certain individual that's in this movie for basically the whole movie, who, man, how should I? I'm trying to figure out how to say it without spoiling it. There's a character who's in contact with Bill Skarsgård. I'll put it that way. For a majority of the movie, that works so well with chemistry. Bill Skarsgård and this certain individual, she like, man, I'm trying to do it so hard. Her and Bill Skarsgård work very well together on screen. I'll put it that way. The chemistry between them two worked really well. It was very believable of their relationship. But yeah, she did good. The actress, I don't want to spoil that of who she is, but if you see the movie, there's only one person I'm talking about. If I say she, and throughout the majority of the movie, there's only one person in there. Once you see the movie, you'll know who I'm talking about. But shout out to her. She did a great job. Everybody did. Even the villains. It was well written to where the comedy was not goofy because there is comedy in it, but it wasn't in a goofy way. It fit the situation. And oh, I got to give a shout out to this. The narration in his head is by, who's the actor's name again? Hold up. Yeah, H. John Benjamin, the voice acting from him. If you've seen the trailer, you know that like I said, Bill Skarsgård is deaf. So his own voice is not narrating his thoughts. It's another voice of something that he heard before he became deaf from this video game. And this video game narration became his mindset narration. So you hear that throughout the whole movie. And I must say, what was it? How you say it again? H. Don Benjamin? H. John Benjamin did a very good job at that. He was well written. It was funny. It just worked very well. Shout out to who came up with that idea, because honestly, they didn't have to put that much detail in it. They could have just put Bill Skarsgård in his own head. You know what I'm saying? But no, they really thought of everything, even the details of the Bill Skarsgård's last voice that he heard before he became deaf. The last thing he remembered, and it was that game. So that genius idea. But when it comes to the casting, I said this before, but I don't believe that there was any bad casting where I'm sitting there like, oh, they could have found somebody better for that. No, I believe everybody did their job perfectly. I mean, in the best way they could, but it worked for the movie to where it was no cringe, it wasn't dry or nothing like that. Everybody that either Bill Skarsgård was in contact with or people outside of that, villain, good guys, whatever, it worked for the movie. The directing was good as well. The setup really reminded me of Cyberpunk 2077. I should say, Night City version. The Night City version of a little bit, not everything, but some. When I was seeing scenes of like when it was walking throughout the city, it reminded me of playing Cyberpunk. You'll know once you see the movie. But also, outside of choreography with the movie itself, the ending battle was not what I expected, but it worked very well. It was like the movie felt like you was playing a video game. It really felt like, that's the best way I could put it. It felt like you was playing an action, blood-hungry video game with minions, boss battles, and then like the main boss battle at the end, which is not who you think it is. You can see the trailer and you could be fooled, but it's not who you think it is. But that boss battle works well. Camera work, intensity, you don't know who's going to win. Like I said, the choreography, everything about this movie when it came to their action sequences worked. It wasn't any corny, not just the ending, but just in all the other fight scenes. It was not dry at all. It wasn't dry or like, they didn't try hard with the choreography. No, you could tell Bill Skarsgård put the work in. Everybody else who fall into it put the work in. The choreographers took their time. And then that ending fight scene, yeah. That was hard. That was really hard in a good way. So shout out to everybody who was part of it. This movie is definitely a must watch if you can. It is rated R. I like to throw that out there in case there's any kids watching or parents that's wondering should they take their kids. No, it's R language, a lot of language, and like I said, violent. It is violent. Like if you are weak stomach, it is not for you. It is very violent. Yeah, because I was about to ask myself, is it like Saw? No, not to that extent where you're torturing people, but is it graphic? Could it be there are moments. There are moments. I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. My reviews are non-spoiler. But yeah, very enjoyable. My wife even said she loved it, so that was cool. She not just liked it, but she loved it. It's a definite watch if you have time. You know, I'm big on supporting theaters. If movies are in the theaters, go support them. That's still needed. I am not a huge fan of this digital only thing. We can have both. I believe both is necessary. So, and is this one of these movies where you can have popcorn, whatever you like as a snack, and go enjoy yourself, have a good time, feel the intensity, the action, and all that stuff? Yes, this is one of them. I know I talk a lot about horror movies, so I'm gonna say this. This is not a horror movie. On this channel, I'm gonna talk about movies in general. It's just I have a huge love for horror movies, but I'm gonna talk about a lot of other movies as well, like this one. But yeah, if I had to, out of 10, for the movie that it is, it's a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, yeah, and the pacing was very well done. It didn't feel like it was dragging. It didn't feel like the fight scenes was going too long. It was like, okay, we get it. Okay, this battle's not done yet? And even though, like I said, the plot wasn't dragged out to where a fight scene took forever to get to. No. They explain the story, and they get into the action. This movie is about the action first of all. You can tell. If you see the trailer, you can tell it's about the action, the bloodbath, and all that stuff first. Plot second. But they mixed that well to where they didn't drag out the plot. And then after 20 minutes, they finally have an action scene. The action scene is small. Then they drag out the plot for another 30 minutes. And then a little action. No. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's crazy. Like, there's this. I will say this because they did show us in the trailer. My favorite weapon was the brass knuckle pistol. That was pretty slick. I've never seen that before or heard of something like that. That was pretty slick. But I would give it a 9 out of 10. So far with my reviews, I've seen Abigail and I almost said Boy Meets World again. Boy Kills World. And both of them have been very well. They're both in theaters. So if you're trying to decide if either one's worth seeing, you can see my review for Abigail. And for this one, Boy Kills World, excuse me, definitely go see that. It's very well done. This movie, I want this movie to do very well. I want this movie to do very well. I'm talking to you as a movie fan, not as a critic or whatever other stuff. I mean, I guess I am critiquing the movie, but just as a fan of movies, this was very enjoyable. I didn't feel like this. Oh, okay, here we go. We're getting into something. No, I was into it, and the setup was good, casting, everything was well. So yeah, I'm about to repeat myself, and I don't want to do that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments what you think about it. And shout out to Bill Skarsgård, he's on a roll, bro. And he got The Crow coming up, which I'm seeing. I don't know why people are complaining like, oh, nothing beats the original. Well, I don't think Bill Skarsgård, whoever's making this, is trying to be like the original. I think they want to make their version of The Crow. And pay homage to the original one. But it looked good to me. They even showed the trailer again, and when I saw Boy Kills World. So yeah. Anyway, shout out to Bill Skarsgård. He's actually one of my top actors right now. One of them, and his character choices are very well. He's doing a very good job. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll check you later.